In this video, we will be ranking every single star in Super Mario 64. And before you say it, yes, I know what I'm signing up for. This game might just be the most controversial game in the Mario series. While almost everyone agrees that it was revolutionary and innovative, no one can quite agree on whether or not this is still a good game. Does the N64 jank make it unplayable, or is that just a part of its charm? And when I say charm, I really mean cheating. For this ranking, we will be evaluating these levels based on 3 criteria. Creativity. How does this star separate itself from the others in the game? How did it take advantage of the new technology or innovate past prior expectations? Execution. It doesn't really matter how creative a star is if it simply isn't fun. Are the controls too jank, or is there a fundamental flaw in this star's design? Satisfaction. Is this star rewarding, or does it feel like filler? Was the puzzle or challenge presented too easy or too hard for the player to enjoy collecting it? Each category will be scored on a scale of 1 to 5, and those scores will be added up to give a star rating. Stars with the same rating are basically on par with each other, and were ranked by hand with my own personal opinions. Every ranking is subjective, except mine. But hopefully using this scale, I can take out as much bias as possible and make my decisions clear on why certain stars are higher than others. Also, quickly before we begin, just want to say a huge thanks to everyone who subscribes. Your support allows me and the rest of us on Switch to do what we love, which is make Nintendo videos for y'all. So if you like our videos and you want to see more in your feed in the future, hit subscribe. Your support goes a long way. All right, let's get on with the video. In last place, Tall Mountain 100 coins. I considered making a separate Z tier for this star, as not only is it not fun, but it's got a massive oversight. To complete it, you have to collect all the coins you can before entering the slide at the very top of the mountain to get all the blue coins. However, once you collect the 100 coins, you have to immediately collect the star before your momentum pulls you down the slide. If you miss the star, you have to start all over. I had this happen once, and I had to step aside out of anger. This is a terribly designed star. The Secret Aquarium. It's cool because it's a secret star, but besides that, there's really no challenge. Just swimming around and grabbing coins. Pretty boring. 8 coin puzzle with 15 pieces. Okay, the picture puzzle of Bowser is cool, but you don't actually solve it. It just moves around on its own, and you just have to avoid falling into the lava while collecting the red coins. Which, if you do fall in the lava, that's another issue altogether. But it is a nice, easy star that I don't exactly hate. Rainbow Ride 100 coins. One of the hardest stars in the entire game. It really all comes down to the blue coins in the maze. If you can collect them all without falling, the rest of it is pretty simple. You just gotta remember not to fall. TikTok Clock 100 coins. These late game 100 coin stars are tough. As a very vertical level, falling here can be an absolute nightmare. However, in a masochistic way, beating it can be very satisfying. Tiny Huge Island 100 coins. Tiny Huge Island is one of my least favorite levels in the game. It's super creative, but its layout just sucks. Switching between the big and small world is annoying, and having to collect the blue coins in the cave can be a nightmare when falling is so common.
D tier. Explosion.
Big Boo's Balcony. At first glance, this star is actually pretty cool. The boss fight on the balcony isn't that hard, and climbing up there is also kind of fun. However, once you beat the boss, the star spawns not on the balcony, but on the roof. This jump from the balcony to the roof is nightmare fuel. I'm pretty sure I spent a good 30 minutes on my first playthrough climbing up to the balcony and falling, trying to get on the roof over and over and over again. The boss fight doesn't even make a dent compared to this horrific jump to the roof to collect the star. Board Bowser's sub, exactly what it says. Hit a switch, climb on the sub, collect the star. The biggest challenge here is the agonizing minute-long swim from the spawn area to the sub room. Dire Docks 100 coins. Speaking of swimming for minutes, this star is just super annoying. You basically have to do the red coin star again just to have enough coins to get this one, since there are only 106 coins. It's time consuming and it's boring. Hazy Maze Cave 100 coins. There's a good amount of coins here, but they're pretty spread out, not to mention the amount of hazards that can kill you instantly. Hazy Maze Cave is just an unpleasant level to traverse, making this 100 coin star unpleasant as a result. Wet Dry World 100 coins. This 100 coin star isn't too challenging as there's plenty of coins to go around. The star itself kind of sucks, but that's alright, because the only people who care to 100 coin the stage are trying to 100% the game. Snowman's Land 100 coins. Oh wow, another 100 coin star. This one's not too bad. The igloo has many coins to collect, and riding around on the shell is actually quite fun. But, you know, I could be doing something else. The Manta Ray's Reward. In concept, I actually like this one, but the rings despawn so quickly that it makes beating this star feel like a nightmare. Or maybe I just suck at swimming. Next up is all 3 Toad stars. Okay, you can't really rank these as they're basically all the same. However, they're ranked so high because I honestly think they're kind of creative. Just random stars hidden throughout the castle when you talk to different toads is kind of cool. They're nothing special, but I certainly don't hate them, like a lot of these stars behind us. Seek the 8 red coins. These 8 red coins hidden in the mansion of Big Boo's Haunt are hidden quite creatively and make exploring the mansion feel worthwhile. However, not very challenging, and the camera in this mansion can be quite frustrating and claustrophobic. Secret of the Hidden Books. Basically just a worse version of the chest missions. Finding them in the right order is fun, but it feels kind of shoehorned in compared to the other stars in Big Boo's Haunt. Shoot into the Wild Blue. Okay, I hate putting this one so low, but doing it with the intended method is just stupid. I much prefer running and wall jumping onto the ledge to grab this star. However, for grading on the intended method, there are much better cannon stars in the game. Jolly Roger Bay 100 coins. The better of the 2 water levels. Jolly Roger Bay is just such a nice environment to swim around and collect coins. However, there are only 104 coins, so you basically need to get all of them. Luckily, they're not too hard to get, but also, you gotta swim, so pick your poison. Shifting Sandland 100 coins. Not too bad as long as you know not to go inside the pyramid until you have enough coins, which there's no way to know what exactly is enough. However, it's quite enjoyable traversing the level with a green shell, and there's a good amount of coins. Bob-omb Battlefield 100 coins. For being the first level in the game, it's actually quite tricky. For one, these poles spit out 5 coins if you run around them, which I just had no clue was a thing until I was looking up how to actually get the 100 coin star in this level. Secondly, there's no blue coins, which makes this level super tedious, as you really do have to meticulously get all 100 coins. Luckily, this is a really well designed level, but for a 100 coin star, it's very boring. Cool Mountain 100 coins. For a long time, I was confused as to why there was a comma in the name. However, I realized it's a pun. Cool as in cold, and cool as in neat. However, later levels like Dire Docks and Tall Mountain don't have double meanings, so maybe this pun was unintentional? I don't know. Anyways, the 100 coin level is quite fun. There are many coins in the penguin slide and outside the level. It's not too frustrating like some of the other later levels, but still has some challenge where it's not just a given. Big Boo's Haunt 100 coins. Okay, I know I just said I liked a challenge, but Big Boo's Haunt is so easy that it's actually pretty fun. Unlike other levels in the game, this level is all about killing enemies. Each boo gives off a blue coin, which makes defeating them very rewarding. The level can be quite frustrating with terrible camera angles, but having such a unique 100 coin collection process makes this one of the best 100 coin stars in the game. Lethal Lava Land 100 coins. Okay, this one is purely carried by riding on the shell. Jumping on the ramps and collecting all of the coins scattered throughout this level is just so much fun. And knocking off the bullies for some extra coins is also super fun. Similarly to Shifting Sandland, be careful not to go inside the volcano until you have enough coins, as you can't get out, but overall this level is just a really fun one to traverse and explore. Elevate for 8 red coins. This level requires you to control the switchboard that moves in the direction you want using these buttons. However, the precise controls required do not cope well with Mario 64. The jank is strong with this one, and not in a fun way. Fall onto the caged island. Okay, this one is really creative. However, like the last one, controlling the owl is just not fun. And if you miss the cage, you have to leave the level to come back for the owl to respawn. Coins amassed in the maze. Wall jumps suck in this game. I usually just resort to backflips to get to where I need to go. But in this level, there is such little ledge space that the wall jumps are necessary. Not only is this frustrating, but it's not creative in the slightest. Go on a ghost hunt. The first star in Big Boo's Haunt is basically just an exploratory star where you have to kill all the boos in the different rooms to spawn the Big Boo and collect the star. It's not bad, but it's pretty forgettable. Make Wiggler squirm. The most forgettable boss in the entire game. Wiggler on Tiny Huge Island is your standard 3-hit boss, which in relation to the rest of the bosses in this game is very underwhelming. It does speed up as you go along, but that's just not enough for me to make it any higher. Red coins on the ship afloat. This red coin star, like many others, demands you to explore much of the level to complete it. Jolly Roger Bay as a swimming level can make this a bit tedious, but the locations of the red coins are actually pretty neat. Some are hidden in clams and pearls, while the others are on the rocking ship. Scary Shroom for 80 red coins. The first 4 coins are on the red shrooms, and the second 4 are on the grassy wall. I think the idea of having to make precise jumps on the mushrooms was such a cool idea, which made each jump feel crucial as falling made you restart. However, they just appeared to abandon that halfway through. However, collecting the stars at the end on the mushroom is nerve-wracking, and a poor jump could mean starting all over. It's not too tough, but there is enough skill to get your blood pumping. Mario Wings to the Sky. While the star was intended to be used with the wing cap, I'm assuming most people do it without it because this is the 5th star in the game and you need 10 stars to unlock the wing cap. It's fine, but there's just more fun versions of this later in the game. Find 8 red coins. This star does a great job explaining what makes red coin stars great. It gets the player to explore the level in an unorthodox way. However, it's just super boring. Other than the coin on the upslope towards Bomb Battlefield, they're not challenging or fun to collect. I understand this is the first level, but I really do think this is one of the weakest red coin stars in the game. Welcome to
C tier.
Also known as mid. Express elevators, hurry up. This is actually quite clever puzzle. I love when levels make stars visible but unobtainable. However, there's no indication that stepping on this will cause it to go down. It's still a fun little star. Blast to the stone pillar. Fairly simple cannon star, nothing really special about this star at all. I honestly bet you forgot this one even existed, but you know, it's right here, the bottom C tier. Chest in the current. I am a sucker for chest stars. They do use them quite a bit through these water levels, but I think for a good reason. However, this one is the most forgettable, and that's why it's this low. Eye to eye in the secret room. So this one is actually pretty cool. Grabbing the vanish cap and going through the Boo portrait allows you to basically become a ghost and walk through walls to a secret room. However, with how annoying wall kicks can be in this game, and the quick countdown with the vanish cap, you might spend a few extra minutes going back and forth trying to get to the portrait before the vanish cap expires. Frosty slide for 8 red coins. Like I said earlier, I think red coins, when done, do a great job at allowing players to explore levels and take full advantage of what each level has to offer. I think this one does a great job of showing off the length of this level and what makes it unique. Go to town for red coins. I always loved the town section of Wet Dry World. It's got such a unique and eerie feeling to it. I think the red coins here are interesting being placed in the boxes, and overall, it's a pretty decent star. In the Deep Freeze. I hated this star for a long time. It was the last non-100 coin star I collected during my first playthrough, and I could not for the life of me figure out how to collect it. In all actuality, it's not hard at all. From what I figured out, I was just a little stupid, but still, it's not that fun. It's just kind of there. Navigating the Toxic Maze. I love how there are 2 Hazy Maze Cave maze stars, with one of them supposedly being an emergency exit, while the other one is literally just hidden out of your sightline. At least the other one has a fun monkey bar section, but this one just feels like it's lying to you. It's not a maze, it's just a lie. Pluck the Piranha Plant. I really do despise Tiny Huge Island. It's such a unique level that is just not fun in the slightest. This star in particular is just so confusing. When you kill the Piranha Plant as Big Mario, nothing happens, but after you go in the pipe, there are multiple Big Piranha Plants. However, the level is called Pluck the Piranha
Flower.
Last time I checked,
Flower.
it was a singular noun. This should be called Pluck the Piranha.
Flowers.
Even if it was named correctly, it wouldn't be that fun. Ride Big Boo's merry-go-round. This star is just a fun beat 'em up level. The atmosphere and music is creepy, and killing boos is pretty fun. Roll into the cage. Okay, one of the first point A to B levels on this list. It's not too bad, but it's just the halfway mark to the rest of the level. Shell shredding for 8 red coins. Number 1, jumping on these guys and twirling over the ledge is super fun. 2, traversing the level for the red coins on a green shell is really fun. This star is just pure fun all around. Shoot into the island sky. The very first cannon star in this game. Basically, it's only there to teach you how to use the cannon, but, you know, I had fun. To the top of the fortress. I love Womp's Fortress, however, it has 2 stars that are essentially identical, except that one has a fun boss fight and one of them doesn't. This one feels shoehorned in. However, I still think the traversal to the top is really fun. Wall kicks will work. This star can be very frustrating, but actually beating it is very satisfying. Whirl from the freezing pond. Jumping off these guys and twirling over here is pretty fun. Short and sweet star. Blast away the wall. As much as I love doing cannon lists, I have to rate this star based on its intended method. And still, it's a pretty neat star. However, I'm just not sure how anyone was ever supposed to find out that breaking the wall here was possible, but a pretty unique way to incorporate the cannon. Womp's Fortress 100 coins. Our final 100 coin star on the list. This star is just really fun. Womp's Fortress is such a well-designed level. There's a nice variety of killing enemies and scattered coins, and nothing feels too tedious or annoying. This level honestly feels like the new Donk City of Mario 64. It's just built for 64 Mario's movement. Blast to the Lonely Mushroom. Another cannon star. However, what I think makes this one stand out is from the very start, this star is visible from the mainland. The just out of reach nature of it makes it super exciting to finally collect once you find the cannon. Just make sure you aim correctly. Can the eel come out to play? This star makes no goddamn sense. For one, it asks you, can the eel come out to play, but the moment you touch the eel, it kills you. What gives? All jokes aside, this star is one of the only stars in the game that actually moves around as you're traversing the level. Chasing the eel is a really unique challenge not remotely found anywhere else in the game. Unfortunately, it's not that fun as it is unique, so here it is. Free flying for 8 red coins. Shifting Sandland has one of the most unique red coin missions in the game. For this one, you use the wing cap, which in my opinion is really fun to use, especially in a level where falling doesn't mean an automatic death. In the talons of the big bird. This is just a better version of the eel star. Catching the star out of the talons of Klepto is actually fun. Lil Penguin Lost. Interesting star, but not a lot of fun. I do think the decoy babies are interesting, but this star is more story than substance. Pyramid Puzzle. I love this star. Traversing to the top of the pyramid to then ride the sand slide down collecting coins is fun. Just whatever you do, do not miss the star at the end. Quick race through downtown. I like how the name does a good job at hinting at the star without fully giving it away. Putting the Vanish Cap box on one side of the level and the grate on the other requires the player to know what to do with it before actually acquiring it. Red Hot Log Rolling. Lethal Lava Land is a really great level to traverse. The log rolling was a really unique touch to this level, and while the precision could be called into question, if you've got enough stamina, you can pretty much just damage boost over the lava. Secrets in the shallows and sky. Great use of Wet Dry World's main feature being the water levels. Pretty neat having the world be both land and water. The secrets in question aren't too obvious, but if you just go into the star exploring and having fun, this can be a really fun star. Shining atop the pyramid. Pretty self-explanatory. The star is at the top of the pyramid, and honestly, I'm a fan. Shocking Arrows Left. Again, execution here needs to be taken into consideration. I think the arrows are fun, but with how this game controls, it could be quite frustrating. Luckily, falling isn't too big of a penalty, as you can try again in less than a few seconds. Cruiser Crossing the Rainbow. Somehow, they made an auto-scrolling level in a 3D platformer. At times it's fun, at times it's not. Today, I think it's fun. The tip top of the huge island. Almost every level has its flagpole star, which basically has the player try to get to the end of the level, usually at the top of a mountain or something. In my opinion, I think most of these are quite fun. if not a little bit predictable. However, Tiny Huge Island is not a fun level. I've said that a lot today, but it's true. Sure, it's creative, but looking back on all of the levels in this game, I think it's the worst one. And scaling to the top is a hassle, not a challenge. Through the jet stream. Go through the rings and collect the star as Metal Mario. Nothing much to write home about. Through the jet stream. Go through the rings and collect the star as Metal Mario. Nothing, wait. They named a star the exact same thing in 2 different levels and they're the same star? It's insane that they couldn't think of 2 different names for these stars. I always thought the Jolly Roger Bay one would be cool to name Jet Through the Stream because almost everyone just swam through the stream without the metal cap to collect this one. Would hate it more, but having the star visible but out of reach makes it quite interesting. Top O the town. Wet Dry World's flagpole star. Unlike Tiny Huge Island, Wet Dry World is an actually fun level that doesn't make me want to tear my eyes out. So that's why it's a smidge higher on this list. Watch for rolling rocks. I'm kind of a sucker for stupid hidden stars like this one, not to mention how fun wall jumping onto the ledge is. Nothing too complex, but it's not trying to be. It's just a simple, fun star. Scale the mountain. This feels like the getting over it of Mario 64. I feel like I fell a lot trying to get to the top, but once I got there, it felt so rewarding. Big bomb on the summit. For the first star in the game, I think it does a great job showing the player how the game works. Bomb on Battlefield is a really well-designed level, and the boss fight with King Bob-omb at the top prepares you for the Bowser fights later in the game. However, is it that fun? I guess so. I personally think it's nothing special. The only thing it has going for it is that it's just a pretty well-designed star, but I don't think it's that fun. Wing Mario over the rainbow. Call me crazy, but this star is insanely fun. Personally, I think it's better than the other Wing Mario Secret Star. However, we all know it's one major flaw, in that if you fall, you spawn outside the castle and have to make your way all the way back up to the top of the castle. Most people would not get down to F tier, and in all honesty, I almost did, because this oversight is insanely massive, but the star is fun, and that goes a long way. Amazing emergency exit. The better of the 2 maze stars. This one introduced the monkey bars, which personally I think are fun, if not a bit finicky. Behind Chain Chomp Gate. Super iconic star. Once again, placing a star just out of reach is great. It's interesting to think that this is the first star everyone sees when playing the game. Breathtaking view from the bridge. The hidden star behind the waterfall is super fun. Basically the same as the Scale the Mountain star, but still fun. That's kind of the problem with a lot of the flagpole stars in the game, is that they cannibalize each other by having so many similar stars in the same level like this one. Collect the caps. Very unique star in the game, and in the Mario series in general. I might be mistaken, but I think this is the only time where you've been able to combine power-ups ever. Fun for the effect of it all, but the star isn't much of a challenge. Still a fun puzzle though. Foot race with Koopa the Quick. Bomb on Battlefield's second flagpole star, except this one has great branding. Unfortunately, Koopa the Quick is pretty slow, but the race to the top here is super fun. The big house in the sky. The longer and better Rainbow Ride auto scroll star. I find the big house to be pretty cool, especially with the weird cinematic camera inside. Into the igloo. I love the hidden igloo here. And the Vanish Cap puzzle is really fun and unique. Also, Hazy Maze Cave, this is how you do a maze level. You're not a maze, this is a maze. Metalhead Mario can move. The hidden path under the water is a pretty cool hint as what to do with Metal Mario, and I love me some long jumps. Mystery of the Monkey Cage. Okay, this right here is why Tall Tall Mountain is sadly not as well liked as other levels. It's a really well designed level, like structure-wise, but 3 of the 6 stars are the exact same star. Just climb to the top. However, the monkey guy is pretty cool. Rematch with Koopa the Quick. Koopa the Quick is actually a challenge here, which is nice. Not as iconic, but pretty fun. It makes me wish every level had Koopa the Quick, because there could have been so many fun challenges throughout the game, but these 2 will do. Snowman's Lost His Head. Really creative star. Frustrating if the snowball misses the body and you have to restart the level, but pretty cool nonetheless. Swimming beast in the cavern. Finding Dory and learning that you can guide your way to the center is a very unique star, and probably one of the most iconic in Hazy Maze Cave. It does a great job of not just making another flagpole star, and actually doing something creative in this level. The pit in the pendulum. Tick-Tock Clock is a really frustrating level, but in the best way possible. It's hard, but that's why it's fun. The only problem here is there's a better, harder star later on in the level. The Princess's Secret Slide, the first slide on the list. This one is fun, but there's basically no challenge here. It's really hard to fail, and the other two slides are just better in my opinion. However, any slide star is going to be high on this list, as they're just pure simple fun. Tower of the Wing Cap. First of all, we have to talk about how you enter the level. Rewarding the player by messing around with the camera in one of the first games to ever introduce camera controls is so damn cool. The level is also fun, but missing one red coin is basically a death sentence. At least the star was on the first floor, am I right? Boil the Big Bully. The bullies are just great enemies for a 3D platformer. They, more than any other enemy in the game, actually feel like you're in a battle with them, even more than the bosses. They perfectly fit the vibe of Lethal Lava Land. Bully the bullies. Exactly what I said about the last one, except there's more bullies, which means more mayhem. Chill with the bully. While not fitting the vibe of Snowman's Land as well, the ice mechanic makes this one so much tougher, but even more fun than the last two. Chip off the Womp's block. Now this is how you do a flagpole star. Great level layout, super fun iconic boss. Everything about this star is just pure fun. No complaints here. Treasure of the Ocean Cave. I love this star. The cave has top tier vibes across all the subsections in this game, and the chess game is just really fun. 5 itty bitty secrets. As much as I hate Tiny Huge Island, this star isn't too bad. I do like running around the island as Big Mario, and trying to go in all the small holes that you can't fit in is a pretty creative puzzle. Pole jumping for 8 red coins. While falling here is going to set you back about 15 seconds, this is a top tier red coin star. It's not an exploration red coin star like many others, but instead in this one, you use a unique mechanic to this level, pole jumping. Fun star, not too many complaints, except, falling sucks. Wiggler's 8 red coins. This red coin star is tough. You will fall a lot, but running and jumping around here is fun and rewarding. You can also use the grate on the top to swing around and drop down to nab a few final coins. Hard but fun star. Snowman's Big Head. Creativity on steroids. Hiding behind the big penguin to shield yourself from the snowman's gust is so cool. Not to mention the super cool cinematic of Mario falling and his hat falling off. It's a bit extra, but I'm glad they put it in. It can be quite frustrating as you're on the ice trying to precisely be behind the penguin, but a super unique star that I can't put any lower. Swinging in the Breeze. Fun platforming challenge that isn't too punishing to the player, and that's rare for Rainbow Ride, and I dig it. Timed jumps on moving bars. My biggest problem with Tick-Tock Clock is my same complaint with Tall Tall Mountain. It doesn't feel like a world. It feels like a point-to-point level with branching paths. I do like the ending timed jump challenge here, but the star is carried by Tick-Tock Clock just being a well-made level. Tricky triangles. Literally exactly what I said about the last star applies here, except Tricky Triangles is way more fun. Vanishing Cap under the moat. Challenging and fun platforming challenge. I wish they were able to incorporate the Vanish Cap more into the platforming, but I really do think this is a very fun level. Also, draining the moat is so cool. Mysterious Mountainside. Definitely the most challenging slide in the game, but I'm not sure it's the most fun. Don't get me wrong, I love the fake paths and overall layout of it all, but I'm not sure it holds a candle to the cool mountain slide later on in this list. Also, a time challenge here would have fleshed out the slide so much, and it's just weird they decided to leave it out of the slide, but still a really fun star. Inside the Ancient Pyramid. Having such a massive interior sub-area in this game is so neat, and the platforming challenge to get to the top is very fun. Maybe one of my favorite sub-areas in the entire game. A tier. Cavern of the Metal Cap. Okay, the actual red coin challenge is fine. It's nothing too special, but the actual way you enter this level is so damn cool. Once you figure out how to navigate the lake in the Hazy Maze Cave with Dory, you then use Dory to get to the raised ledge that you couldn't reach otherwise. This, in my opinion, is one of the coolest secrets in the game. It actually feels like you're discovering a hidden area that you weren't supposed to find. Not to mention, the metal cap is a really cool power-up. Personally, I think my favorite in the game. Get a hand. This star is really fun. Riding the clock arm all the way around until you find the star is such a fun discovery that really leans into the charm of Mario 64. Slip sliding away. This slide is iconic for one reason and one reason only: the shortcut. Following the coins down the tunnel is so damn cool, and the slides in this game really don't miss, and this one is not an exception. Somewhere over the rainbow. While the star is the easiest in Rainbow Ride, I don't think that's a bad thing. Shooting through the rainbow really never gets old, and in my opinion, this is by far the best use of the cannon in the game. The Princess's Secret Slide too. This slide star is just pure bliss. Whoever timed the star and made sure that 21 seconds was the correct timing for a great run was spot on. 21 seconds requires you to take a near perfect line. It's not too hard, but it's the perfect amount of difficulty that makes it really fun to pull off. Red coins in the floating isle. Whomp's Fortress is a great level, which means so is its red coin mission. Exploring this level for the first time and collecting the red coins was just super fun. Not too difficult, but really emphasizes exploration, which is a key component to great levels in this game. Stand tall on 4 pillars. For the amount of flack that Shifting Sandland gets, you can't deny that this star is incredible. First, the clue isn't too difficult to figure out, like at all, but when you do, watching the top of the pyramid pull away is freaky and something I always forget happens when I come back to this level. And then finally, the most creative boss in the game, iRock, is so fun and requires you to not just jump on the back of a boss, but to use your punch to damage it in its eyes. Super underrated star that I think deserves a lot more praise than it gets. Elevate, Tor, in the volcano. I love when games reward going backwards, and this star does just that. Not only is the volcano such a fun location in the game, but the Elevate Tor does a great job adding more challenge to the volcano besides the main flagpole star. Big Penguin Race. This is the slide to end all slide stars. You race a penguin who calls you out for cheating. Not only is this one of the most fun stars in the game, but it's also got personality and is just hilarious. Also, when you 100% this game, the big penguin gets even bigger. You can just tell that the devs knew this one was going to be a fan favorite, and they were right. This star rocks. Bowser in the Dark World. The red coin star for the first Bowser level is top-notch. Hiding one star at the very beginning is so damn funny, and the layout of this level is just brilliant. Bowser in the Fire Sea. Fire Sea is the least punishing Bowser level as it's not floating in the void and you can just take damage on the lava. I also love the location of the star after collecting the stars. Something about these Bowser levels just feels so grand, and I love collecting the red coins every time. Speaking of grand, this star really encapsulates what makes Mario 64 special: exploration and platforming. This level is a bit tough, however, all the coin locations are very well thought out. And I just love the one coin hidden under the stars at the very end of the game. The developer's humor here was just top-notch. Stomp on the thwomp. Exploration and platforming. This star has the same feeling the secret stars in Super Mario World had. You make it all the way to the very end of the level, only to be left with a thwomp in your way. The conveyor belt is pulling you towards your demise until it all clicks. You have to use the thwomp as your lift to the star. It's so damn creative. However, it just misses S tier for one thing and one thing only. The camera in TikTok Clock makes me want to rip out all of my fingernails with a pair of pliers and then spend my whole net worth on scratch-off tickets and use my now bare fingers to find a winning ticket, while also on fire with no fire extinguisher in sight. But still, it's a good star. S tier. Okay, before we enter the top 5 and our S tier stars, I want to go over a few statistics that I found interesting about my rankings. Firstly, here are the average rankings of each level. Kind of surprisingly, TikTok Clock had the highest rating of 9.7, and the Castle Stars being not far behind with 9.6, while the opposite side of things had Big Boo's Haunt as by far and away the worst rated level with a 5.9. This is a bit weird to me, because I actually like Big Boo's Haunt, and a level I despise, Tiny Huge Island, and a level I love, Womp's Fortress, are deadlocked on average rating. What I think I realized is that the ratings are purely designed to evaluate the stars and not the actual layout of levels. While that should inherently be a part of many stars, I think more levels like Tiny Huge Island and TikTok Clock have inherent gimmicks tied to their design that give them a boost in the creativity column that was 1/3 of my rankings. In retrospect, that could be seen as a flaw, but I don't think it's too bad to say my ratings were inherently flawed. In all honesty, these are just fake statistics I subjectively gave to each star to make my own process of ranking easier and to funnel my own subjective thoughts into objective measurements. Basically, I was trying to fit a round block in a square hole. It worked, but had quirks I didn't quite anticipate when I started. But with all that said, let's get to the top 5. Hot in it into the volcano. Such a great platforming challenge that just so happens to be pitted in the center of a volcano. If you don't think this is fun, you're just not a Mario fan. Yep, I did it. I put MIPS in S tier. You can't tell me that MIPS doesn't check all the boxes. First, creativity, a random bunny running around the basement that just so happens to give you a star. That's just funny and fun. 2, execution. MIPS is not easy your first time around. Its movement almost gives off a bit of smugness that makes finally catching it feel like a real accomplishment. 3, satisfaction. Well, I guess I just basically explained that, but the MIPS stars are the only stars in the game, besides the Toad stars, that you actually collect inside the castle. Not in a sub area, not in a secret star, no, in the castle. MIPS is fun, MIPS is tough, and MIPS is iconic. Stop time for 8 red coins. Sue me, this star isn't as fun as MIPS, or even the Penguin Race, or even some of the other red coin stars. However, stopping time with the clock outside the level is something so creative and out of the box that I didn't even know was how this level worked at first. I discovered it by accident just heading in when it hit 12. I tried countless times to do this level while the platforms were moving, and I almost gave up thinking that it was just too hard. Being able to freeze the platforms was just the most brain-blasting moment I think I've ever had in a video game, and that's why it's number 2. However, I wish TikTok Clock did more with speed changing, but, at least this star exists. And finally, the number 1 star in the game, Plunder in the Sunken Ship. I know. I'm shocked too. How the hell did a water level star win? Well, Plunder in the Sunken Ship has everything. Story, execution, creativity, and fun. First, you have to lure the eel out and then enter the sunken ship. Inside, you do a chess puzzle, which, as always, is a fun time. But instead of just receiving a star immediately, the ship starts to rise and the water comes out of the ship, leaving what was once a water area into a platforming challenge to the top. Everything about this is seamless, and once you retrieve the star, Jolly Roger Bay is irreparably changed, as the ship is now on the surface. It may not be as flashy as a slide level or as iconic as a Wing Mario level, but in my opinion, I do believe this is the best star in Super Mario 64. Thanks for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, I assume you like other Mario games, so go check out this video right here where I ranked every single mainline Mario game. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.